Good morning. It is, welcome back to Talks Within Reach. We are live early this Thursday morning to get this episode brought to you. But gentlemen, good morning.
What's
Morning.
Lots of good football again. Lots of high scoring games. We'll get into that. But lots of injuries as well. We'll also get into that. But any games fancy for you, you know, that anything that made you happy this week? And you've been a happy guy the last couple weeks. Tell us about that, Fancy.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to. You win 4 out of your last 5
Oh,
against 2 teams that are regarded as some of the best in their divisions. Picking that one up this last week against the Chiefs. Nobody had the Packers even giving them a chance to, like, in a wild upset. And I got to say, after seeing the Chiefs defense against the Eagles in Germany, that was my biggest concern. And the amount of protection that we were able to get for Jordan Love is what I mean. Given the time in the pocket, let the receivers get downfield a little bit, get open, make some decisions, go through his progressions. And, he was delivering good balls, and the wide receivers were making, tough catches here and there. And it was just nice to see kind of this evolution from the beginning of the season where you had all the parts, but it was unassembled kind of. And now as you're getting your shit together and you can kind of build it, and you're like, oh, I see where we're going with this. And that, maybe we can get it done. So definitely gives us a lot of confidence going into this week against the Giants.
yeah. I mean, you said before, as long as you guys keep learning, that's the main thing there in Green Bay. That it's a really young team. But I
The
Jordan,
did
youngest,
Jordan
the
Love.
youngest, actually, the youngest in the NFL.
Jordan Love looked good.
Jordan Love is.
No, the team as a whole.
Oh, I was like, wait.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I believe it, and like I said, you got to give Jordan Love a little bit of a break when it comes to, this season. I said you got to give him 2-3 years because look, like Rodgers struggled last year,
hmm
with
hmm
this team, and it's not much different than it was last year in terms of
No,
offense.
no, just
So
a little maturity.
you guys do have a better defense, but I mean, to come into that offense and do what he's doing is pretty impressive.
Oh yeah.
Going into that game too, I saw Mahomes. 254 and a half over passing yards was his line, and I was like, "Wow, that seems really low." And I was tempted to hit it, but I didn't, and he ended up with 180 or something like that, like 180 something. And it's been a couple of times this year that Mahomes has had that, and all the Chiefs fans are like, "He's got no one to throw to. He's got no one." It's like, hey, not every quarterback has Kelsey, Tyreek Hill, all the, you know what I mean, and Andy
Yeah.
Reid giving you all these play calls. It's like, I get it, a lot of drops. I'm not gonna say it's not happening, but it's like you're dealing with what every other quarterback has dealt with in their career now. It's like,
Yeah.
let's see what you can do now that you're in the same situation as, Justin Fields and, whoever, all these other quarterbacks who are constantly having wide receivers drop passes for them, So
Yeah.
maybe he'll cut into his little pocket there and, give some money to a wide receiver instead of just making $300 million a year. Um, but for me, it was the Texans and Broncos. 22-17. Texans get a good win. Texans have won a couple like good games, but the Broncos going on a 5-game streak. I think who else took them? I think me and Matt, right? Me and you took them last week, Matt, and Fancy
Correct.
won the
Yeah.
Broncos. It's a good win for CJ Stroud. It's against a good hot football team. And then like we'll get into the records and playoff picture later, but Jacksonville losing possibly Trevor Lawrence for the season. I don't know exactly what this injury is, but didn't look good. And they're only like a game or two back. So I mean, it's a good win for the Texans. CJ Stroud looked good. Russell Wilson looked like his last year Russell Wilson, unfortunately.
Yeah.
3 interceptions. Um, but I mean, hey, if anyone had Nico Collins, 9 catches, 191 yards, and a touchdown. But unfortunately, Tank Dell went down with that injury, which is one of the injuries we were talking about. I think he like fractured his fibula or something like that, like some
Yeah. Pretty
weird,
brutal. Yeah.
yeah, some weird injury. Yeah, I mean, good for the Texans. Interested to see what happens in the AFC South. I mean, even the Colts are sneaking up on it. So, but that's my game of the week for sure. Anything for you, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, I got a couple games that some of the high scoring ones we saw finally a Thursday night game that just, you know, what is it? 76 points scored in that game. Cowboys kind of snuck out that win. Seahawks, we're playing really well.
Yep.
Um,
I debated taking the over 3 times live, and I never did. I was like, 48 seems a lot, and then I was like, 52 seems a lot, and then I just never did it, and I was like, wow,
and
all
then
of those would have hit.
we just kept seeing them. What
Yep.
was the stat you told me? No punts.
Yeah, there was no punts and 1 turnover, which you said, I think it was Darren Bland. No
Yep,
touchdown this time, but yeah,
Bland
no
again, but
punts
didn't.
in the entire Thursday night game.
Yeah, that's insane. So that was definitely a good way to start off the week instead of a loser game like we
About to
normally
see
see.
tonight.
Speaking of loser game though, the Chargers and the
Oh
Patriots. So
gosh.
I know you want to talk about some of the highlights of this week, but how about the lowlights? Like not scoring not scoring any points and only scoring 6 to win. One of the stats that I saw that was interesting was the Patriots still covered.
Yeah,
Even
they did.
though
It was it was it was like
6-0.
+6 or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, so that's insane.
Okay.
And then the other game I kind of wanted to highlight. I think we knew going into that Dolphins were going to put up 1,000,000 points against the Commanders. Um, Bright spot I saw was, again right out of the gate, Tyreek. Me and you both took him in the DK lineup.
Yep.
Did not disappoint, but another thing that was great was they threw HM back out there. They were comfortable with him coming off of that, tweak again of his knee, scoring 2 touchdowns as well. So that was, I mean, again, it was against the Commanders, who everybody puts up points against, but they again really looked like something special this week. And then my last one, sorry to just kind of go through all the games, right, as a recap, but you already talked about it, that Jaguars Bengals game. I think we would have had a really special game if Trevor Lawrence wouldn't have gone down. But we still got an OT game. Still exciting, down to the wire type of game. So that one to finish off the week was pretty cool too.
Yeah. Started off the week good, ended the week good. And, CJ Beathard didn't look that bad. I mean, he really
Right.
didn't from not getting much time. But like you said, we talked about the players. Um, of course, we'll go right into the DK segment where, we can talk about, who won. There's going to be no shockers
Debo, I think Debo
on who
Samuel.
won.
Yeah, Debo
Yes,
won.
to give you the exact, I was down. I had 99 points basically going into that game. So you had won. I was the only person that had left on time because somehow you guys picked all the noon games. I don't know how that was possible, but we all, or not you guys, all of us have just picked
Right.
all the noon games, and I picked one 3 o'clock slate, and it was Debo, and we ended up getting the win there because of Debo. Um, but obviously Rashad White, he's been really good. I didn't take him this week, but Rashad White's been really, really good. We both took Tyreek, and then obviously Debo. It's been working well for me to just take. I'm surprised I didn't take CeeDee Lamb this week because I'm surprised. I don't think did any of us take CeeDee Lamb this week. I guess we'll
So
see.
it's price point. Oh, so for this last week, price point when we took Tyreek, like I don't know about you,
It was
I
high.
was scrambling to place a couple of those players because
Yeah, that's where
um
Njoku and Downs came in for me,
yeah,
and then obviously Pat Frymuth kind of let us down because of the fact of um, Kenny Pickett going down too, another
true.
injury. Um, but hey, fancy Sam Laporta.
I mean, I did have a real hot week, and to even still be at 100, it's just a shame. I don't know if everybody that listens and watches knows, but we make these picks, and it's kind of like locked in, like no ifs, ands, or buts. And the day after I make my picks, I find out Schultz is out for the week, and I'm like, cool,
Yeah. Yeah, that is the thing that it's something we never really even talked about is, when we're talking about these games, a lot of times guys are ruled out or things happen, and this is posted, before the Thursday night games. So like today, we have the most updated we can possibly get. Um, but you know, most of the time you can get updated, games, throughout the, going into Sunday, obviously the best way to record it would be Sunday, but for us, we record it typically on Wednesdays, so we don't have the most updated version of some stuff like that, and that's been the first case of us for DraftKings at least, where you know, Matt's picked a couple questions, and I've been wondering if it was gonna happen to him first, especially this week because he had HM Montgomery and Hill all
Right.
question, and I was like, but yeah, definitely unfortunate. But yeah, I mean, not a lot. Singletary just kind of let you down. Drake London kind of let you down, but good defenses all around though. Definitely some good defenses all around. Um, but that puts me at 5 wins, or no, four wins now. I think, yeah, 4 wins. You guys each have one.
Yeah, this one definitely hurt
Which
because
which
how
that's
close
why
that was.
I have
But
that belt back there, which Matt knows about. Matt's the only person in the league that's touched that belt that hasn't won it. That's back to back, you know, fantasy football championship right there.
congrats.
But for this week, um, like you said, we don't have a lot of similarities. I think you're gonna take Montgomery every single week as a homie pick every time.
Basically, is what it comes
And
down
then
to. Yeah.
Fancy with the double tight ends. I want to see how many weeks in a row Fancy's gonna pick double tight ends. Fancy just loves tight ends.
Who doesn't? And I
No,
gotta say,
when saying that, I was like, I probably shouldn't tempt him, but he's been
Right.
up for like 24 hours. So to be fair, it's like,
but I definitely was on the brink of picking Montgomery too, just because
yep,
he's a menace.
yeah. I mean, he scored a touchdown in every single game this season, that he's played. The only one he didn't score in is when he got hurt, like the first quarter or whatever, which is like I don't feel like that actually counts. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I was surprised to see you pick Gibbs. I mean, I think Gibbs still has a good game, but Montgomery's a touchdown guy. Gibbs is yards and receptions and all that.
So
All
it
that.
Yeah.
yeah, what we saw, Montgomery when he came back, 70-yard touchdown, right? Typically, that's what you're hoping for, expecting out of Gibbs is going to be that crazy breakout,
Mhm.
screen pass or some kind of catching out of the backfield and goes for that large touchdown. But Montgomery got it, 2 games ago. So it's a toss up, I think, between what success. I think personally, both of them can have success in that backfield. So it's kind of a coin flip which one you choose there.
Yeah. Interesting picks on the quarterbacks by all of us. Not like super interesting, but no top of the line. No top of the line expensive player for any of us. I guess Mike Evans for you, Matt, and Pittman for me is the
Yeah.
highest. But last week we had some between Tua and Tyreek's. We had some big expensive guys going. I didn't realize I went double tight ends too, so I'm a fancy. I like tight ends. Um, but yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I really like this lineup. It's one of my favorites I think I've done. Um, I feel like Drake London against you know the third worst passing defense in the league for 4,600 is kind of wild. But yeah, I mean, both of you guys picked Zay again, which it seems like you picked Zay a lot, and then
He's been a bust every time we pick him,
yeah,
unfortunately, and then
yeah,
he breaks out. So we're
yeah,
hoping
and then you went with
that's what I'm
Charlotte
doing.
White, so we'll see what happens now that you pick him. So
I know I was trying to learn from you guys, and I pick him, and let's see if he still continues
yeah,
it.
I like him this week against Atlanta. Atlanta's got a good run defense, but yeah. So maybe we'll post those on our socials. I keep saying it, and then we never do. But
Keep everybody on their toes.
yeah, I
Maybe
mean,
we will, maybe we
we're just
won't.
waiting for people to message me like, dude, I was waiting for it. But that leads us right into the stats within reach. Only got one for you guys, and then kind of one to debate with you guys. So we got 3 players this week. Player 1, 3,288 yards, 20 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and a 98.1 quarterback rating. Player 2, you got 3,127 yards, 22 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 95.1 QBR rating. And then player 3, you got 3,214 yards, 24 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, 95.8 quarterback rating. Who are you guys taking as your quarterback on your team?
This is total touchdowns, or is it
This is passing yards or passing touchdowns. I'm sorry.
okay?
Hmm.
He's got the monopoly going. Look at him. He's
Yeah.
You should do it, dude. It's a whole curl.
Yeah,
You should.
that's hard.
Give me the productivity, the 24 touchdowns. I'll take player 3.
Oh,
So I was definitely leaning player 3 because typically, that's what touchdowns win games. You gotta score to win. But I mean, what 7 more interceptions, whatever it is,
yeah.
5 more interceptions. It's like, and then
More
a little
yards,
bit
less
less.
touchdowns, but less interceptions.
Yeah,
Yep, ball
yeah,
security.
better QBR overall. Yeah, I mean, if you let the defense score, you can also lose. So throwing that many interceptions kind of scares me away. I'm going player 1.
All right. That's interesting. This is actually interesting that you guys did
Why
this.
do you do this to us?
I always think it's interesting just to see how it plays out, you know? Can we see that mug one more time? Just the
This side, right?
Yep.
I want to see the picture of you.
Yeah, and then show the picture of you. There we
Oh yeah,
go. There we
yeah,
go. All right, now just
oh
let's
yeah.
all right, so Matt is player 3 and Fancy you're player 1. So no real wrong answer, but you
Oh
didn't
no,
pick your
no,
own quarterback.
Matt got the wrong answer for sure.
Okay, and I will say this. Actually, we'll get into the next thing first because I want to debate this before I like give it away. Um, Fancy, we talked about this on my stream earlier this week. Um, and Fancy brought up Fancy. What did we talk about? We talked about something, and Fancy had brought up, would you rather have Trevor Lawrence or Joe Burrow on your team? And I was like, I think I'd take Joe Burrow. And Fancy was like, I'll take Trevor Lawrence. And I was like, wow. Like, all right. Like in my mind, I'm like, those, you don't have a bad option necessarily. But I was like, to me, Joe Burrow is like top 5, top 10. And Trevor Lawrence, to me, is in the middle of the pack. He's going to be a good quarterback for a long time, I think. But it's like that middle of the pack or whatever. Matt, who would you take in that Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence?
To put on my IR.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we talked about it before he got hurt. To be to
Right.
be fair, we did. Then he
Um,
got hurt Monday night, which didn't.
man, that's a tough call.
Yeah, I think Fancy. What was your case on it? Like, not that I mean, there's no wrong answers. So like, but like Fancy was saying,
I said that I don't see Burrow lasting as
right.
long
That's what it was.
because
Yeah.
he
wow.
gets
Okay.
hit so much. That
So
was
they
why.
said
It
that,
wasn't
and
a
then
skill based thing. It was
I
an
think that
injury
was
Yeah.
based thing.
Saturday. I think that was Saturday. You said that, and then
Wow.
Monday Trevor got hurt, and I was like, oh, like,
Hmm.
I was like,
Mm.
that's tough.
No, I
Yeah.
mean it's tough because I think that receiver core for Burrow right now though
That's what I
is
said too.
is top of the line, so he's going to have that success. I think Trevor Lawrence kind of has to work for it a little bit more. Is kind of the difference I see between them. I think they're both. You're right, both great
Great.
quarterbacks
I'd take either one of them.
to have. But yeah, I think obviously if you're taking Burrow, but also with his receiving core, I think that's who I would lean towards.
Yeah, I think if you gave Trevor, that receiving core, he'd be. I mean, but now Trevor has a good. I mean, you talk about Calvin Ridley,
Yeah.
Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram. I mean, he's got Zay Jones, Travis Etienne out of the backfield. I mean, he's got some good options. Um, so no, what I ended up doing then was I was gonna do another slide like this, player 1, player 2, and do each one of them on the career stats. But the career stats, once we get to it, you'll realize it's like, oh shit. And I looked into it. They played about almost the same games because Trevor came in the league a year later, but Joe Burrow's first year tore his ACL, and then this year
Okay.
Joe's missed how many games? So they've played still almost the same amount of games because of that. But here's the stat differential on that. A big margin.
Look at those
You're talking about
Jeez.
two AFC championship appearances, with no offensive line since he's been in the league. So I mean, Fancy, you're not wrong because
Oh yeah.
he's clearly getting. I mean, the injuries. It's funny because, like I told you when we were talking about it, the injuries are funny because the injuries aren't sack related or hit related. They're him reaching in the end zone, tearing his ACL, and then I think it was a throw that he hit a helmet on and then hurt his
Yeah.
hand. So it's like
Yeah.
that has nothing to do with him getting rocked 16 times a game. It has
Right.
just like the weird, just
Yeah,
stuff
they're
happen.
quirky injuries, but
Yeah,
I think the way it was asked, like, who would you want for the next 10 years? And that was like,
yeah,
that's like in my mind, I'm just like, I don't want to say this because I love Joey B, but it's like I'm almost afraid that just like with
Andrew Luck.
Josh Allen, his best years are already behind him.
Wow.
Or he's coming to that apex point of it's like it's just not gonna happen. Justin Herbert status. It's like he's a great quarterback, but they're struggling to beat the Patriots.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's that same kind of thing. And that, I mean, I don't want to compare the Bengals to the Chargers or to the Patriots, but it's like I just don't. And in my mind, it's like not the weapons that they have. It's like if I could pick between the two to come to Green Bay, when you asked me, I would have picked Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, and Trevor Lawrence does get it done on the ground more. I will say that to defend him. And he's been a completely different quarterback since Doug Peterson has been his head coach. He obviously didn't have
Yes.
him there right away.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see the stats of Trevor Lawrence after Doug Peterson's got there because Doug Peterson is a great head coach and he's a great quarterback coach.
Mhm.
But obviously Trevor Lawrence gets it done on the ground a lot. But I mean, just in general, not even talking about these two quarterbacks, there has been so many quarterback injuries this season. I mean, it started with Rodgers at the start of the year. Trevor Lawrence,
Yeah.
he's been battling a knee injury the entire time, and then now he has this happen. Did you guys hear anything about it? I didn't. I
Yeah,
didn't really
Yeah.
keep up
I
with
thought it
it
was like an
necessarily.
ankle. I thought.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is ankle.
high
High
ankle
ankle?
sprain is
Yeah.
what
Oh, so he's gonna be okay.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully,
Yeah.
but so yeah,
I,
I
I
was
didn't know if it was like Achilles or like you know what I mean, like something
Yeah.
really really bad where it was like,
No.
man,
that didn't come out yet. No, so
okay,
that's actually funny because that's one of the things I was gonna ask you guys as part of trivia. I was gonna ask you how many quarterbacks you think have been hurt
oh
already
yeah,
this year.
I don't even know.
Um,
It's way too many. I know that.
way too many.
I don't know if it's, man. It sucks because it's like when who was the championship game? Was it Casey Keenum and Nick Foles or something like that? Like when it was or it was something like that, and then it was to play Brady on the other side. It was like the year that the Eagles won. I think it was Nick Foles versus versus like Casey Keenum or something like that. In one of the games, it's just like, what are we doing? Like
Yeah.
that this
Yeah.
is, it's like, man, because Kirk Cousins got hurt, Wentz got hurt, and it's just like, man. But not like a stats within reach type thing, but just want to show these stats. Um, right now, if you guys had to guess, obviously Tyreek Hill being number one. Who else would you have in the top 5 receiving yards this season? If you guys just had to just take a guess.
CD has been lighting it up.
Okay, so Tyreek, CD.
Yep.
Who are your other 3 guesses?
I want to say he's had a couple down weeks too. I want to say Amon Ra. He had that streak of what 6 was 100-yard games.
Something like that, yeah.
So I want to say
Mike?
I'm gonna throw him in there. Did he crack the top 5?
I'll show you. I'm gonna see your guys' guesses first. So you got 3.
Mike Evans.
Ooh.
I didn't
Okay.
realize he'd been in the league as long as he's been. I saw
Dude.
that stat about
Yeah.
his like 10
With
years
like
and
8 different
10
quarterbacks.
Yeah, it's like holy shit. Like, all right. I just didn't realize he'd been in that long. Like, oh
Yeah.
my God.
What about AJ? What about AJ Brown?
Okay.
He had a bunch of 125 games, right?
So are we locking in that top 5, or you guys got more?
Do you got any that you can sneak in there, Fancy?
I
Those
mean,
are some good guesses, though. Honestly,
coming off with the DK, I'm like, was Debo not any better than?
Debo was hurt a lot.
Yeah,
That's right. That's
he
right.
missed.
Yeah,
So
that's right. That was only the first thing I think of. Yeah.
Puka, did he sneak in there at all? I think he's more like probably leading in receptions.
Yeah,
but
he's a reception machine this year.
I think he had a couple that were only 90
Yeah.
yard
Yeah,
games.
only like 70 yards with like 14 catches.
Yeah.
All
I
right,
don't
so
think he can crack it. So
we'll
yeah,
lock
I
in
like
for
that
you
top 5.
guys.
I like that top 5.
Tyreek. We'll lock in for you guys. Tyreek, CD, Mike Evans, St. Brown, and who was the other one you guys said?
AJ Brown.
AJ Brown.
Yeah.
So that's your top 5. So the 2 that you guys got Tyreek right. You guys got CD right. And you guys got AJ Brown right. The 2 that you guys are missing aren't like shockers, like on who they are.
Nico?
But who?
Nico
No.
Collins?
Nope. They're bigger names. I just didn't
Okay.
think they were doing this good. And one of them I want to talk about, Keenan Allen.
Oh.
Oh
I
yeah,
feel like for being top 3, no one's talking about Keenan Allen. Nobody. I mean,
he gets a quiet 10
he's
receptions
just he's
to
just
12
con he's
receptions
just
in a game.
constantly
Yeah,
10 catches, 120 yards, quiet. Like,
yeah.
he had that one game where he had, like, 18 catches or something like that. It was something crazy. And then even Jamar Chase, like, obviously top guy, right? But playing with a hurt Joe Burrow, they haven't been the Bengals, you know what I mean? And it's like, if you look through his things, he's either had 200 yards or, like, not like 50. Like, there's no in between. So, like you said, I was very surprised to see no St. Brown. I was surprised to see, um I was surprised to see personally no Puka. I did think Puka as well. Mike Evans to me is probably close on here. But it's the inconsistency with Mike Evans. If you look through Mike Evans, everyone knows the fantasy, right? It's like Mike Evans either is he's the definition of boom or bust. There is no middle of the gap with Mike Evans. It's either
Yeah.
5 catches for 140 yards and a touchdown or 2 catches for 20 yards. Like there's no either he catches that deep ball or there's just nothing.
So Amon Ra's at 1,042. So he
Ooh, so we just got snipped. Yeah,
just misses out. So
just missed out.
honorable mention. He was
Yeah.
I'm in the right
Well,
mindset
like,
there.
but that in my mind, I'm like before when I saw top 5, I knew. I mean, Tyreek's a no brainer. CD's a no brainer. AJ Brown's a no brainer because those are all guys that have been on 125 plus yard streaks. It's like it only takes a couple games to get to that. But I don't know why Keenan Allen didn't come to mind for me.
Right.
It was St. Brown and Puka for me right away. Um, but yeah, I mean, interesting to see. I mean, we'll see if Tyreek breaks that 2K, dude. That'd be. I would love to see him do it in 16 games. That way, no one can say he did it in 17. You
Sure.
know, because
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
true.
I like he broke it in 16 and then added on to it in the 17th.
Oh, hey, listen to this though. So okay, we were in the right. Literally, the next 3 are Amon Ra, Puka at 1029,
Oh, so easy over 1,000.
and then Mike Evans at 1012. So
Wow. Okay. So we nailed it. When we nailed
I
the
mean, that's
top
right
8.
there. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
we
right
nailed the
there.
top 8. Just mixed it up. But yeah, I mean, for no one to say, I didn't personally didn't say Keenan Allen or Jamar Chase either. Like I was like,
Yeah.
no way. Like, but yeah, Keenan
I
Allen.
I thought Jamar Chase maybe, but not more than Mike Evans. Like that was like I was like, he came to mind,
Yeah,
but not
and I
more
and
than
I
that.
would have thought that too, honestly, because just I mean, Mike Evans is good for Mike Evans though. That's how many seasons in a row now? It's like 12, 13 seasons or some shit like that.
Mhm.
Or 10 or something like that. That he's have over a
Yeah.
thousand yards.
All 10
Yeah,
seasons that he's played, he's had over
that's
1,000
insane.
yards.
Think
That's
about the quarterbacks that he had Mike Glennon as his quarterback at one point.
yeah.
Mike Glennon, um, where
Proud.
his neck was longer than his career.
Yeah.
Um, we'll dive right into the playoff picture here. Enough of the stats, but it was cool to look at when I saw this. I was like, wow.
Yep.
Playoff picture here. There's one team that shouldn't be here. And Fancy's represent not just dive right into it. Dude, Matt, you're not gonna want to hear it. But I'm gonna dive right into it because I thought it was the most interesting thing I found out this week, and it was from Fancy. The Packers can win the division, and it's not a delusional. I'm a pretty unbiased football fan. Or it's like when you give me information, I'll tell you honestly, like, I don't like it, or like, yeah, I do like it. No,
Mhm.
no favoritism at all. The Packers, Fancy. Who do they play now? They play the Giants,
We've got
Panthers.
I don't remember the exact order. It's Giants, Panthers, Buccaneers, Bears, Vikings. It's some order like that.
Yeah,
But the
Yeah.
next 3 is the
Giants,
Giants.
Panthers, Bucks.
Yeah.
Well, listen. The script's already written
Oh,
because
here we go. Here, yeah.
for some reason we don't play Green Bay for the last game of the season, right? They switched it to have Minnesota be the last 2 out of 3 weeks for some reason. It
Yeah, that
doesn't
is
make any
weird.
sense.
That
Yeah,
is weird.
so obviously it's the NFL already dictated that Green Bay is going to have this come from behind
Yep. Gave you
chance,
guys the
but
easiest schedule. It's like
that,
Cowboys all over.
This
that's what
was
I'm
the
saying.
alternative. This was the alternative script when Rodgers went down.
There you go. Yeah,
Yeah, they were
yeah.
like,
They were like,
we
"All
gotta
right,
mix something up here.
This
yeah,
Yeah.
we
was the
got plan
backup.
B." Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
But no, like he was telling me that, and I'm like, dude, I just don't see the Lions going like 2-3 in their last 5. He's like, well, I mean, if they do, and they like went through like who, like I was like, man,
Yeah,
like
I mean, the Cowboys, the Seahawks, and the Vikings could do the Vikings could win one out too. And then the Cowboys and Seahawks, we've watched them play some great games against each other in the last couple weeks. It's like,
yeah,
and the last 2 out of 3 games that the Lions have played, while they won 2 out of 3, they had to come back and like hang on to a freaking win just by the skin of their teeth against teams that wouldn't hold up, 14 points against the two that you got coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be tough, but y'all are probably, still we're number 3 seed in the NFC for a reason.
Right.
No disrespect to that. It's absolutely, good organization and good coaching.
The Bears
So
aren't in the hunt.
no,
Are they? Are,
they're
are the
being
Panthers?
hunted.
Are the Panthers officially eliminated?
I think so.
Okay, I was just wondering.
I think
But
so.
I will say we're not gonna spend like a crazy amount of time on this. I just wanted to show this because I thought it was interesting. We'll kind of keep it updated throughout the next couple weeks. It's gonna be important to look, especially in that AFC South. Because you see the Texans, they're in the hunt. And I think they could be a playoff team. But real quick, just looking at it, AFC, NFC. We'll start with the AFC. Any teams that are in there that you think you think it's good? You think it's good to go? This is the playoff picture, or do you think like what is one team that slips away, and then what is one team that comes in and takes a spot?
I think if anybody slips out, depending on this is like depending on Trevor Lawrence's return. If anyone's gonna slip out, it's gonna be the Jags. If Trevor Lawrence doesn't come back soon enough. If not, Pittsburgh's out and Houston's in. Houston's gonna be the one to take the spot between either one of those two. Like one of
Yeah,
those two is gonna fall off, and both with quarterback problems. And I think Houston. That's how Houston gets in.
that's fair.
I mean, the Browns might slip out. I don't know what they're doing. Like, I think you told us Flacco is already
Yeah,
in and out.
254, 2 passing touchdowns. They bring him off the couch eating Ben and Jerry's ice cream, and he almost gets the job done, and it's just like I don't.
He might have asked for it. He might have been like, I need a fucking break.
Yeah,
I
that
got
was
no gym membership. Let me just call the
Yeah.
Browns up real quick.
no. So the commercial that we see with like Emmett and Troy Aikman and
Yep.
saying, "Hey, let's come back." I
Yeah.
think that he got a little taste of that. He was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, no, this isn't right." So
He called his agent. They actually took him, and he was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, it was like kind of one of
Yeah,
those
he was
things
just
where it's like,
joking.
yeah, they didn't want me, and then they called him like, no, we want you. He's like, motherfucker, like
Trying to put his pads on. He's like,
yeah, but I mean, we said it, man. I text Facebook right away. I'm like, my cousin, one of his locks was -3.5 Rams, and I like missed it. I was busy doing stuff, getting ready for the Eagles game. And then I saw the Browns went up real quick, and he was like, I think you can still hit it. Like, I think we're good. And I'm like, dude, I am not losing money because of Joe Flacco in 2023. Like, there's just no way that I lose money because Joe Flacco decides to come back, put up 300 yards, and beat the Rams. Like, but yeah, for me, man, I think the Steelers have an easy one this week. Um, and I think it's just
we thought that last week against the Cardinals.
yeah, but the Patriots also didn't fucking score a point last week. And the Steelers defense is much tougher than the Chargers. But see, that'll be the one, where just like the past Thursday night game with Seattle and Dallas, like you said, Matt, it's like all of a sudden it's just an offensive like shootout. Yeah, that's what I was telling my dad too. He was like, "This game's gonna suck tonight," and I was like, this will be the game that's like 35 to like 42, and both teams will score like the most points they've ever scored, or it's going to
Oh
be
yeah.
3-2, and it's going to be a field goal versus a safety. Like there's going to be
3-2.
Yeah, there's going to be no in between. Did you see the over under? I sent it to you. It's the
Yeah,
lowest over under in NFL history. I'm pretty sure.
I'm
30 and a
What did you
half.
say it was 24? What is
30
it?
and 30 and a
30?
half.
30
I'm
and a
telling
half.
you, I
Okay.
saw one of those games.
30 and a half. I think
Maybe
it's the
maybe
lowest
the
I've
game
ever seen.
started. I saw it at like 29.
Yeah, it might have been when it started or something.
Yeah.
I think 30 and a half is the lowest I've ever seen any book ever. Like they're basically saying I was thinking about it. They're basically saying this matchup tonight is not going to be a 17-14 game. They're saying it's going to be less than 2 touchdowns apiece.
Yeah. Well, what's the spread? Because then you got to think about point
I think
differential.
it was like 5.
Yeah, so implied
So I'm
point
gonna
total
take
for them
I'm gonna
is
take Patriots,
insane.
bro. Like, not that they're gonna win because it's like if they put up 7, they're gonna cover no matter what. Like,
What I think is interesting though is the quarterback situation. Because I think Zappy is going to start,
he is.
and you got your old favorite Bears quarterback Trubisky.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This season, like going
Like
through the teams, it's brutal with quarterbacks. Matt, I
well,
don't
I
know.
mean,
I generally don't know the guess. I'll give you a guess later on, but like like looking at the teams, the Browns backup quarterback, the Colts backup quarterback, the Steelers backup quarterback, the Jags backup quarterback, the Bengals backup quarterback. 5 of those teams that are either in the hunt or the thing. There's 5 backup quarterbacks in the
Yeah.
AFC right now. Um,
oh yeah, I'm just
so
saying between those two quarterbacks is what I think
oh
is
yeah,
so crazy. It's like
yeah. No,
wow,
it
like
is. It's gonna be interesting. It's like but yeah, for me, I think the Browns slip out. I think the Browns have had their fame. I think their easier part of the schedule is up with. The Ravens obviously take that division easily. I think the Steelers do stay in. Even Kenny Pickett, no Kenny Pickett, new offensive coordinator. Um, I feel like it might be a hot take, but Mitchell Trubisky is a good backup. Like, I think there's good backups in the league, and it's like you wouldn't want Trubisky to like give him the keys to the franchise, but I think he's going to be okay in the Pittsburgh Steelers offense with the new
Yeah.
offensive coordinator. I think honestly he could be a upgrade from Kenny Pickett in a way.
Basically,
Um,
he's a borderline
yeah,
starter
fringe
that
starter.
can that can compete for a job, but he just can't win it.
Yeah,
So if he's thrown into there, I think he could have success.
yeah. It's like 1A, 1B. You know what I mean?
perhaps,
He's just barely on the outside. Um, but yeah, I think the Texans do sneak in. I think that, and it might be like a biased pick for me, but the Texans might sneak in, and it wouldn't surprise me to see the Bills sneak in. I know Fancy's not gonna like that, but it's the Bills. They have too many weapons. Like we all agree that they shouldn't be 6-6, but they are. Like that's the bottom line is they are.
Yep.
Um, but it's like it wouldn't surprise me, I think they're 6-6 or something like that.
Yeah, six and
Um,
six.
yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if they ended up 11-6 or 10 or 10-7, and then snuck in. I don't think they'll go far, but you know what I mean. But then we got the NFC. Obviously we're all gonna be. I just realized that we're all NFC North, like not NFC North, NFC, side
yeah.
of things. So we'll be a little bit more biased when it comes to that. Um, but man, I don't see it changing much in my opinion. Um, we'll get into the matchups. I think you guys took Bucks both this week against the Falcons. I took Falcons. I just think
You just
as
love
much as I
Arthur
don't want
Smith.
them to
We
run
know
the
it.
division, I don't think they're already up 2 games in the division. The Saints are just like I don't know what's going on with the Saints.
They
Um,
can't keep Derek Carr healthy for a full game.
yeah, but they still
He'll
have
come
Jameis
back,
Winston. They have
and
3
then
quarterbacks. Like
I
it's
know.
like they should be
I mean,
fine.
I know. I don't. What? Why are they struggling? Why
Yeah,
are the Chargers struggling? Why are the Bills
maybe it's a head
struggling? Like
coach
it's.
thing.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah,
But I think if anybody sneaks in, I think the Falcons fall out, and I think the Seahawks get in there. And if it's, I think the Seahawks get in there maybe over the Packers. Like it's going to be one of those
yeah,
things.
yeah. I can see that.
Yeah, that's who I see getting in. The way they're playing.
I
A
was
couple
shocked
other.
to see the Rams be like as of right now that in the hunt. I would think they were like 10 in my mind. Like I
Mhm.
thought the Rams like had so many losses on the season. I didn't think they were even in like a playoff hunt whatsoever.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Um
that can be. I mean, that can be a scary offense.
yeah,
Um.
they just got to stay healthy.
Yep.
Just got to stay healthy.
yeah.
Um but yeah, for the most part I think that like no one's going to Eagles, Cowboys, Lions, 49ers, they're all, you know what I mean? They're all just like the AFC, the Dolphins, Ravens, Chiefs, they're all staying in.
I
Um
mean,
but
what's gonna be interesting is to see how it plays out over the next couple weeks between
yep.
the the Niners, the Eagles, and the Cowboys
Yeah, that
as
number
far
one
as
seed spot can
just
flip.
where they land. Yeah, who's getting the
Yep.
home field? I see the Eagles getting it, but
And see, to me, I mean, it might be a hot take. I don't like. I mean, I guess it's not a hot take, but I don't like sitting around week
you
one
know, like
in the
first round
playoffs.
bye. Yeah,
No. So I mean, if you gave me 5 seed, I'm saying this right now as a number one seed. If you gave me 5 seed, which like it hurts me to have the Cowboys win the division because then you got to deal with it, whatever. But it's like if you give me 5 seed, I'll take the Falcons week one. Like I'm okay. I'm comfortable
like a nice little
taking
warm up game,
yeah,
getting
I'm
into the
taking
playoffs.
yeah,
Yeah,
as the Falcons, it's like, let's make sure we're clicking and then move into the next game because then the next game, you're gonna play probably the 49ers, which you're gonna play, in the NFC Championship anyways, and then take my chances at, the Cowboys losing to, the Lions or the Vikings or, something like that.
yeah.
Um,
Listen,
The
I like your
Packers.
sentiment. I like your
Oh,
sentiment there, but if you get a chance to rest and
Oh,
not get hurt with
not the
all the
Eagles
injuries,
though, man. Not the
with all the
Eagles.
injuries we have right now, you're telling me, Jalen Hurts takes one more shot to the ribs or something stupid.
I mean, I guess we'll see. I mean, yeah, we want to be number 1 seed. We want to, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? You want to, but
The
it's
home
like,
field advantage is great and all that.
yeah.
But
Yeah, and when we play in the link, it is tough to beat us, but it's just like, but I'm saying I'm still okay. Like I can see us making a Super Bowl run at 5 seed too. Like I'm okay with that if that's the case. Um, but with that, we talked about a lot of the games here. Let's get straight into our matchups. Obviously, we have tonight. All of us are going Steelers. Um, like I said, 10-3. Realistically, 10-3, if that. I mean,
don't forget,
10-0.
Steelers are winning their division.
Yeah, and dude, you had so much hate on that TikTok.
And
I
look
don't
where
I
they're
don't
at.
think they win the division.
Look where they're
Where
at.
the where the where the why can't I find the Ravens?
They're on the right.
Are they?
Yeah, 9-3.
Oh yeah, my bad. I forgot about the results.
Mhm.
I still can't even find the fucking. Why am I blind?
What are you looking for?
The Ravens. Oh my god, I couldn't find them, dude. You're like on the right. I'm like I'm looking.
It's like they're on the right.
Like
Like they're
I
on the
am
right.
trying here, fancy.
Yeah, it's like
um, but yeah, once
they're
again though,
purple.
we'll get into the before we get dive right in. Matt taking another impressive week.
Ooh,
10
and
and
jumping in the
3
lead.
and coming in the lead.
Yeah.
There, Matt. Looking.
I started off with every game except for those last.
Yep, you were perfect through I think 10.
Yeah.
And then the last 3 and kind of like all upsets. I mean, you're talking about the Packers Chiefs, the Jags Bengals. We couldn't really expect the Jags Bengals, I think the Jags do win that game. If
Save the injury, they win. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and you can say that about any game. Hey, I'm not the Bengals. That's a good win.
Yep.
If they're thinking we can still make playoffs, that's a win you need. So good for them. Good week by all of us in general. Anytime you're above 500, it's not bad.
Feels good.
But hopefully, I'm still waiting, man. That'd be awesome for one of us to hit all of them. And I think last week with only 13 games, that was probably the last chance, the best chance at it.
I
Yeah,
had a
yeah.
chance
I was
there,
looking at it,
which
and that's why I didn't say nothing in any of the chats because I'm like, I genuinely do hope you get it as much as you put above me, but I'm like,
yeah.
man. But yeah, all of us taking Steelers. We'll just, I mean, I genuinely think this is going to be like one of the lowest scoring games. I guess 6-0 is what we need to beat. But
Yeah.
it's gonna be a rough one to watch. Just buy some wings from Buffalo Wild Wings, pour yourself a beer, and just go to bed
Just
early.
be happy. Just cherish this moment because in
That
a few
football's on.
months we will
Yep,
be out.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
I'm
thinking
gonna
about that.
say 13-7. They do score. I think Zeke scores a touchdown.
Oh,
13-7 is my score.
13-7. All right, fair enough.
wow.
And then we got the fans. You want to take a prediction? So he's got 13. I should write that down. 13-7 for Matt, 10-3 for me.
Fuck,
Which all
man.
which all is under right by the way
Yeah.
right now.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I'm thinking like 16-6, 17-6.
17-6. Okay.
I think the Steelers score, and I think the Patriots get a couple field goals.
Yeah, I do think not to spend so much time on such a shit matchup, but like the
Right.
Steelers offense isn't like terrible. Like it's like terrible, terrible, terrible since they've got rid of Matt Canada. And like Najee Harris and Jalen Warren on the ground have been really, really well. And the Patriots
Yeah.
just their defense sucks. So it's like there's a good chance that the Steelers could put up like 20 plus points themselves. So like
And they're at home.
yeah,
So I mean,
yeah,
I think that just gives them the best chance in front of home crowd to not put on a show, but to at least safely win.
yeah. But I wish I was like 12 years old again, watching Big Ben and Brady on a Thursday night football game. That'd be lit. Um,
Imagine.
but then we got the Falcons Bucks, which is the game I wanted to get into. I just man, the
You,
Bucks they
you
couldn't
love
even cover
Arthur
this. They,
Smith.
they
We know
couldn't
it.
they couldn't. No, I don't.
You
It
love
it
him.
hurt me to take this, but the Bucks barely got it done against the Panthers. Man, they just been too inconsistent. Atlanta at home. I saw Desmond Ritter in his college and NFL career is 32-1 at home.
Mm-hmm.
So Falcons at home.
32-2.
Desmond Ritter's back. As their starter. Bijan looked not terrible against the Jets.
I mean, he didn't give me any points.
But in terms of the package usage that they used, they actually try to get him involved when they were down. You know what I mean? Like when they were down or the game was close, they were trying to get him the ball as much as they could, which is like I think there's a good chance the Falcons. Like I
Oh
said,
yeah,
the Bucks have the third worst passing defense. So hopefully Kyle Pitts becomes the best tight end in the league finally. Like we've all been wanting him to do.
yeah.
But yeah, that's my take on that one.
I mean, I love Baker Mayfield, and he's still fighting for his job. And he knows it after last week. He knows after last week he's got to do more to get it done. Sure, the defense could help out a little bit more on those games when the offense is struggling. That's kind of the you pick one up when the other one's not doing too hot.
I mean, keeping the team to 10 points though. I mean,
Yeah, but it's Panther. I want him to
that's what I'm
keep
saying. The one game that you shouldn't be asking your defense for help against the Panthers. It's like,
right. Well, I mean, then that's the game that it worked out. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like when you're struggling offensively against a team that um, but
Man,
that's
remember
why I'm
that
picking the
scary
Colts.
Bucks defense too? Like when Brady was there, when we were like, holy shit, this Bucks defense is crazy. Like, and then all of a sudden
Yeah,
they just fell off. Like it was just like nothing there. It didn't seem like many guys moved around or retired or anything. It just all of a sudden nothing there.
yeah, for sure.
So, Matt, you got anything for that one, or you just Bucks all the way and
No,
go Baker?
that was a toss up for me. Yeah,
Yeah,
but I'm more confident in Baker and his, you know,
Mike Evans.
in Mike Evans.
yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
the Falcons are just weird this year. Too,
yeah.
I mean, I guess Bucks too, but too inconsistent for me to
Yeah.
rely on them.
I
So
think that whole AFC South, or I'm sorry, NFC South is just way too inconsistent. Like,
yeah,
I mean, you look at it, it's 5-7, 5-7, 6-6. It's like yuck. Like, can we just like get rid of it? Just
Between
get a
that
new one.
game and our Thursday night game, they could be interchangeable.
Yeah, yeah, they definitely could be. Then we got Colts Bengals. I'm sticking with my Colts. The Colts have been a team, man, that like have not like let me down like all year. In
It's
terms of
magic.
like especially gambling, like -1 all the time, -2 all the time. They cover every single. It's just been like it's been amazing for me. I love it. But I do think that the whole Jake Browning thing was kind of like I think the Colts defense is gonna be a little bit tougher than the Jags defense. I think it was just a little bit of a fluke for Jake Browning. But hey, we'll see. I mean, if he proves me wrong, good for him. But I just like the Colts. They've been rolling through some decent teams, raffling off some wins. And who knows? I mean, they could get in the playoff spot too. So they're playing for a little bit more, I think.
yeah. I saw the Bengals, getting it done against the Jags. I gave me some hope there against the Colts. Colts have been, I don't. It's kind of like those weird end games. Those, it could be literally anybody can win that matchup type of thing. So I think I have a little bit more trust in if they find a way to get it in Jamar Chase's hands again. I think he can win a game versus Pittman um, trying to catch that last ball, even though he got it done last game. I'd rather rely on Jamar Chase
Yeah,
standing out. So
yeah. That
that's why
game
I'm a
could definitely
Bengals.
go either way for sure. Um, But another one, man, with quarterbacks, in that Colts Bengals game, it's all backups, and then the Jags Browns game, it's all backup quarterbacks as well. I still went with the Jags. Um, I mean, I don't think Trevor's gonna play, and I knew that going into it. Um, but like I said, I think the Browns are starting to slip down a little bit. I think they're trying to. I think I don't know. They don't beat the Rams, which I think they definitely could have beat them. They're when you're signing Joe Flacco week 13 and you're starting him, it's like you're you're struggling from the inside. You're barely, above water. And I just think the Jags, like I said, CJ Beathard didn't look bad. You give him a whole
Right.
week of number one reps. I think he can get it done. I think he can get it done for a week. There's a lot of options. It could just use Etienne a lot more. Because the Browns' run defense hasn't been that great. They've been a good pass defense, but they haven't been a great run defense. Um, so we'll see. I mean, it could go either way. Another one. I mean, all four games we just talked about can go either way. Um, so that's just my
Yeah.
take on it. Jags,
Again,
Jags need it.
I like Brown's defense. If Ward's in the lineup, he's getting a pick. If Garrett's in the lineup with whatever's going on with that shoulder, um, I think he's going to rip the quarterback's head off in
Yep.
this game. So that's why I went basically Browns defense in this game.
I think just on last week, it's like give Flacco one more week to knock the dust off, and he doesn't overthrow every other play, and he has a 350-yard game
He's
and
already
a
benched him.
win. I know. I'm just
Yeah.
saying. Like, I think it's like just give him a few more reps, and maybe they're taking the week off to give him those reps. Like maybe a little harder in the practice squad to try to
Yeah.
come back.
That's just
Another
it's
week.
just I don't know.
But I mean, his arm strength is still there, and that's why I'm like, man, like if he could just connect on a couple of those, he wins that game for sure. Just, I mean, it
Yeah.
was like, wow. I mean,
I
who
feel
would
like
have
the
thought?
brutal slate, like the Jets would they would love that. Like 254 yards, 2 passing touchdowns. The Jets would kill for that right now.
So is
Yeah.
DTR back in then? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not sure.
Or who
I'm
are
not
they
sure
going with?
who is start. Yeah, I don't know. I think the Browns. What is it? Is it what's the Browns head coach name? Like something with an S.
I have
Um,
no idea.
he should be fired. And man, Vancy, going on to the next game, Texans Jets. We all picked Texans. We won't spend too much time talking about it. But
Kevin Stefanski.
there you go, Stefanski. I was gonna say Stefanski or some shit like that. I couldn't figure it out. But like Robert Silo or however you say his last name. How do you not fire him when the quarterback situation is not? I mean, I talked about it with you. I love the guy, the defense he's built, and the team how he's changed the Jets like identity has been super impressive. But it's like he's starting Zach Wilson this week. 2 weeks ago you just said Zach Wilson was done for the year, and then now you're starting Tim Boyle. Tim Boyle starts the week after. They lose by a touchdown or whatever it was, and then on Black Friday, and then last week
Yeah,
you start Tim
Simeon,
Boyle.
yeah, yeah.
You start Tim Boyle, and then you bench him mid game for a spark for Travis Simeon, and then the next week you start Zach Wilson again. I
I
mean,
mean, I'm not firing Robert Sale over that because it's.
I think teams have fired a lot more for a lot less. Like
I
So why
know.
don't why don't we
I think
have Aaron Rodgers step in as interim head coach while he's waiting on his return? And then
you just can't go through quarterbacks like
I
that.
mean,
You
I agree.
gotta
Like, I don't think that's
just
a
stick
good
Zach for the rest of the
strategy,
season.
but
I think they would have more wins right now.
I don't. I I
Maybe
don't.
another one. Like
no,
I don't know.
I mean
I
you're saying the head coach's decisions, but really, to me, it's the front office. They had a chance. I mean, maybe the spark that they needed was, I mean, Dobbs kind of fell off a little bit after looking real
Yeah.
nice. They could have got Dobbs. They could
But they
have,
spent so much money though. They got Rodgers, they got Dalvin Cook, they got Alan Lazard. I mean they spent so much money. It's like I don't even think they had it. Like
yeah. This the weird thing of not signing somebody to try to, like you're saying, try to make that quarterback decision. That's, to me, that's the crime there. It's
I
not
mean even Jameis
necessarily.
Winston, like somebody like Jameis Winston wanted
Yeah,
to go. He was ready to go anywhere.
yeah. So to me,
So
it starts with the front office of not making a move to help the head coach. But that's kind of where it went for me.
I agree with that. I mean, like I said, like swapping around quarterbacks is not a good look, but I mean, the
I'm just
season kind
saying
of just
when you come
started
out and
off
say,
on a bad
yeah,
note, and it's just been like searching, and you gotta no matter who's sitting there. We've talked about this week in and week out on here and off. It's until you got protection, it doesn't matter who's sitting there. They're just gonna get slammed.
yeah.
So
Well,
you
that's
got
what
to
I
give
mean
these,
is like
yeah.
as a coach, you just need to understand that and it, it hurts me to say, but the Jets' future is Zach Wilson if they want to be. You know what I'm saying? Zach Wilson is Rodgers going to retire within the next year. You know what I mean? If not at the end of this year, the year after that, it's like Tim Boyle and Trevor Siemian had never been a starter anywhere else. So like Zach Wilson is your guy that you're like they drafted him top 5. It's like they
I thought
want him
I
to be the
thought
guy.
Simeon
It's like
started at the Broncos.
for like maybe like barely, and then he lost his job to
Like
like
I was
Drew
just saying,
Lock
yeah,
or something like that.
yeah.
But you have a guy like Zach Wilson that you drafted high up. It's like you can't start him, sit him, start him, sit him, start him, sit him, and then it's like you tell him after I think like week 10, it's like you're done for like we're sitting you done, you're done for the rest of the year, and then it's 2 weeks go by, you look even worse, then you bring him back. It's like it's too much mental, and it's too much like with the receiver reps of like who the fuck's throwing it to us? Like, it's like there is different styles of throwing and
Sure.
spiral. You know what I mean? It's like there's a different feel to it, and it's just like it's just messing that offense up even more when you do that. Um, and they don't have a good offensive line, but I mean either there's Joe Burrow, and it's like he gets it done. So there's ways to get it done. I just don't think switching through quarterbacks like it's musical chairs is the way to get it done.
Oh, I agree. I don't
Um,
think that's the way, but
yeah.
I just don't think
I don't want him
any.
to get fired. I just think like how do you like seeing how the NFL plays out. Like the NFL fires head coaches for way less. It's like once the front office is under like distress, it's all right, new coach. It's like that's just how it is.
Sure.
So we'll see. Hopefully not, because I mean maybe Rodgers has some pull and it doesn't happen. That'd
I
be
mean,
awesome.
I think he's a great head coach.
Yeah,
Period.
that's so do
So,
I.
and I mean, very well. I mean, they could fucking fire Sala and fucking or Sala and Rogers retire. Just be like, all right, then
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
uh,
I think that's where the pull is going to be. I think
Lazard retires, Cobb retires, and all of a sudden now they're like, huh,
yeah.
you know,
And then we have Ravens, Rams. We all pick Ravens. I think Ravens I mean at home they are very good.
that's a good
And
team.
you know, Ravens will just dominate that game. Just much better overall team than the Rams are.
Yeah, especially with the
Um,
week. You have the bye week.
yeah. Yeah,
So they should come out firing.
they're gonna be just on fire. And then we got the Lions Bears. Fancy with the Bears pick, trying to get a little homey action there.
Yeah.
Needs the Packers to win, and then needs the Bears to win against the Lions to keep his hopes alive for that divisional. Um,
If the Bears win, I mean that puts us in and we win, that puts us in a really good position
yeah.
to move up from wild card.
Yeah, and
Um,
it was a scary matchup last time. Obviously come from behind victory.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's gonna be cold, man. You guys are used to playing in the little dome, but it's gonna be cold this weekend.
hey, Goff
Soft hands.
wears those 3/4 length sleeves, so he'll be all right.
All right,
Yeah.
fair enough, fair enough. Then we got another shit matchup. Saints Panthers. Going with Saints. Panthers maybe win one more game this whole year, maybe.
I went with Saints, but I'm like, I can see the Panthers winning that, honestly.
Yeah, we'll see.
Just look out if you're a chain crew member on the sideline.
Oh God,
Um,
that was brutal.
that was so bad, dude. That was
Ugh.
so bad. Like I was like, I literally verbally said because he just snapped his leg, and then like they just like zoomed in, and then his legs just like dangling, and I'm like, can
Yeah.
you not?
I was like, Jesus
and then,
Christ.
I don't-
then like they go to cut away from it though, and he's like, you can hear him screaming, and I'm just like, all right.
What
yeah.
is Workman's comp like in the NFL?
I don't know.
What kind of lawsuit are we getting against our employer?
There's
Matt?
I don't think there's a lawsuit. I think you could just get it. I think
Oh
Kamara
no,
will.
you
I
can
think
get like
Kamara will.
trauma, like mental trauma
Oh,
and
true.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah.
mean, I guess it's. I mean, it wouldn't be the NFL. It'd more so be the broadcasting crew that like you can say, you know what I mean. Your worst moment was like televised to
Oh
everyone.
yeah, you might get them for defamation. You might get to
Yeah,
sue them both.
yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, hey,
Yeah.
it's funny
Great
how
legal
Fancy brings
theories.
that up, and not even a
Hey,
lawyer brings that up. It's like
Great legal
people have
theories.
gotten more money for dumber stuff,
yeah, you ain't lying.
like the hot coffee at
Um,
McDonald's.
I will say completely off topic of just like the NFL, the way they run stuff. I thought the stupidest thing I found the other day is Tua. I'm sorry, not Tua. Tyreek. If you guys remember when he scored a touchdown, he took the phone and did a backflip.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that guy, he works for the NFL. But before working for the NFL, he was Tyreek Hill's highlight like guy. Like he would like be his little like social media manager. So he'd
Mm-hmm.
go to like training camp and like practices and stuff like that and like get Tyreek Hill running routes, doing stuff, whatever. Kind of a social media guy off whatever. And then he got him a job with the NFL because the kid was talented, very talented. And he was at the game. He's been working all the Miami Dolphins games for the social media team. He had no idea that Tyreek Hill was going to do that. Like he was recording for his own like whatever. And Tyreek Hill took his phone and did that. NFL posted it everywhere. We've all seen the clip of him taking the phone and then doing the backflip because like NFL and ESPN posted it literally everywhere. That
Right.
kid got fired
Yeah, saw
by the
that.
NFL. He got fired by the NFL saying that he should not be doing that on the job. But then they made millions of dollars off of them posting it.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like I just don't understand how that. It's like it really is the no fun league. Like it's like
Absolutely.
it's Tyreek literally came out and said, "It's my fault. I didn't like he didn't know I was doing that. Like I was doing it because this is in the heat of the moment. I thought it'd be dope. Like it'd be cool. Like
Nah, I
Goodell
mean,
Goodell
I
needs
have
to
a
reinstate
feeling.
that guy.
I have a feeling he's a little bit in on it for sure, but
I have a feeling
still,
they had talked about that
yeah,
previously. I mean,
I
yeah,
said the
maybe he
same
did it
thing. Yeah,
spontaneously. I think they've talked about that before.
yeah, but
How cool of a shot that would be. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
but it's like you can't post it everywhere, make millions about it, and then fire the kid about it. It's like that
Right.
doesn't make any sense. Um, but then we got Vikings Raiders. Kind of, dude, we have a lot of like, yeah, you know, like in that like noon, like 3 o'clock. It's like, yeah, you know.
Yeah,
We
red
also took
zone's just gonna be
Vikings.
hopping around.
Yeah, we all took Vikings over Raiders. We all took 49ers over Seattle. Um, could be a better game than we think in that one for sure.
Mhm.
Um, and then Matt taking the Bills against the Chiefs in Kansas City.
Yeah.
All right,
Maybe.
It's
maybe.
listen. I honestly have zero faith in both of these teams,
Yep,
and then I have high regard for both of these teams.
yep,
So
Yeah.
it literally just depends on what team shows up. I think this is one of those weird matchups that, obviously you're right. You're going to lean Chiefs at home, but the way the Bills can both play down to their opponent and play up to their opponent,
yeah. They
um,
played great against the Eagles.
yeah, and then the way the Chiefs have been up and down this year, you've seen them um, not be the juggernaut that we expected this year. That's way too many losses for them this year. I think we have a chance to see another one, and then maybe the demise of these Chiefs for some reason this year at the hands of the Bills this week.
Yep. I mean, I definitely don't disagree with any of that. I definitely think um it could be a good game to watch. Could be like one of the best games of the week on a pretty bad slate overall.
Yep.
Um, but then we got Broncos Chargers. We all pick Broncos. I mean, if the Chargers are only putting up 6 points against the Patriots, I've completely lost faith in the Chargers. I thought there was a good chance that they could turn the season around and go maybe 10-7 or something like that, 11-6, something like that. And they just I don't know what it is. We talked about a lot of coaching issues. I don't know. I don't think it's a Herbert Keenan Allen. We saw Keenan Allen stats, right? I mean, Herbert's not having a terrible year. It's like I don't know what's going on with that team. It'll be interesting to see what they do in the offseason. And
Yep. If
then
Harbaugh goes there instead of the Bears,
Bears, yeah.
maybe. Yep.
You never know. Never know. Would be interesting. And then we have 2 Monday Night Football games.
Yes, we do.
Wow, we're gonna get spoiled. Why do they start doing that? Does anyone know? Not to like
I think just because of the 17-game season, and they had like four teams on bye last week. I think it's like a weird
oh, and they did the Black Friday thing where everyone was playing and shit like that. Just kind of messed
yeah,
everything up. I got you.
yeah.
Hey, I'm fine with
Well,
that.
didn't they start the year with two?
Yeah,
I swear they started with two
yeah.
Monday night games too.
It's
Yeah.
it's
So
it, they do it. I bet you it's just like strategically they do it to fit in certain whatever. But I'm okay with it. The problem is like that first game. I think I'm assuming that the Giants Packers is the first game because of the way it's we
They're
have it
both at
structured
the
here.
same time.
Are they?
They're both at
See,
7:15.
well,
that's what's
I
stupid.
thought they staggered last time so
Yeah,
you could
last
see
time it was
it.
like
And
five
They
and seven,
did.
but still, it was way
Yeah.
too early. Like it
No,
was
I
like
looked to see which one was which because I would be working, and I wanted to, I didn't know if it
I
was gonna
want
be
to
the
see
late
that.
game or not. Yeah,
Um, wait, what? There's a Monday Night Football TV show. I just typed Monday Night Football and it just like popped up. Um, but no, yeah, you're not wrong. Both 7:15. Wow, that sucks. Then you gotta like pick which one you even want to watch.
like that's hard to pick.
Yeah,
right,
I
the
guess I'm watching
Dolphins.
Titans
Yeah.
Dolphins. Yeah,
I wouldn't want to see the
the
Lions future,
Giants.
the playoffs fucking go
Yeah.
down go down in
And then
flames.
possibly not once again, not even being biased. Probably the game of the week. Everyone's kind of watching it, right?
At least they got it
Um,
at the right time of the day.
yeah,
Is like Jesus Christ.
yep. And then next week when we play Seattle, they moved it to a primetime game too. I think it was the Monday night game they moved it to, or Sunday night game, or something like that. Um, of course, Fancy, you went with the Cowboys. You're from Texas. You love the Cowboys. I can't believe you did that to me.
I
Um,
don't love the Cowboys as much as you love Arthur Smith, but it's close.
I can't wait till Arthur Smith gets fired. But me and
Yes.
Matt, we took the Eagles. Matt, you're officially locked in. on the
I'm still on
Eagles.
the fence
You're
again on
still
this
locked.
one.
No, you're locked in. It's on the podcast. It's on the thing. It's as official as it gets. You are an Eagles fan Sunday night.
Oh, yeah.
I do think I think they can. I mean, they have to. They
So
have to win
something
this
that was
game, right?
brought to my attention, I think that's cool or not cool for us. Uh, but a interesting thing to talk about. Um, if the Eagles win this game, they'll go 2-0 against the Cowboys this season. But there's a good chance that we just talked about the playoff picture. They could play each other in the playoffs, right? There's always that chance at some point they will play each other in the playoffs. There has been no team in NFL history that has beaten a team 3 times in a single season. So, someone asked me, "Would you rather just lose this game,
The split now.
split now, and then win the game in playoffs?" My answer to that was win now, fuck the Cowboys. They're going to lose first round whoever they play against, so we're not going to have to worry about that. But it is kind of a crazy thing to think about that not a single team has ever won three games in one season against each other. Um which I guess like last season we had the Giants, Cowboys, Eagles all in the playoffs, but I guess that doesn't really happen that much where
Yeah, I was gonna say I
division.
would want to know how many attempts
Yeah, there
that
has
it's
been.
actually happened.
And when we looked at the playoff picture, there was a couple I think on both sides, AFC and NFC, there was three teams from each division. You get the NFC North, there was Lions, Vikings, and the Bears, not the Packers. And then we had the AFC South with the Steelers, Ravens, and Browns. So or AFC North, I'm sorry. Um so I mean, I don't know what those splits look like for them too, but I guess that could be a thing to look for too.
Yeah.
Like Fancy said, dude, we could see our first score-a-palooza.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
you know, Matt, when he
Scoremageddon.
said that, I was like,
Scoremageddon.
I was like, you mean scoregami? He's like, yeah, whatever it is. I was like, score-a-palooza is definitely way better than scoregami.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, Fancy, we talked about it as much as I hate to admit it. Eagles, Cowboys. Eagles always win at home. Cowboys always win at home. It's a 50-50 split. That's just the way it always happens. You know, it sucks because this is like we just came off of a loss, a tough loss to to
Oh, yeah. You don't
watch.
wanna go back to back.
You don't want to go back to back, and you don't want to go back to back and have the back to back be the Cowboys because it's like they're gonna win this game, and this is literally their Super Bowl. Like this is literally their
Oh,
Super Bowl.
yeah.
It's the
Oh, yeah.
most like they don't care about any. They can go 13-3 or 10-6 or 10-7. I'm sorry. Um, as long as they beat us, they don't give a fuck. Like it's just like
Yeah.
this is it. This is
Oh, yeah.
literally Lombardi Trophy right here. So
But listen, who would you rather have to win the game? You want the ball in Jalen Hurts' hands or Dak Prescott?
Jalen
yeah.
Hurts.
I'm gonna take Jalen Hurts 10 out of
Yeah,
10
I mean,
times.
they showed his
So
stats, like, in the 4th quarter. They showed his stats when he's losing. They showed his stats on the winning drives. It's like his quarterback rating is through the roof, doesn't turn the football over, and is like a monster. So it's like, go right ahead, put him in a spot where he's gotta come back. I'm pretty confident in
yep.
him and the team. And Dallas Goedert's back, so that's a huge addition to our team. The last time he played was when he played against the Cowboys and fractured his forearm at home. So
Okay.
he's probably gonna be looking for a little bit of revenge. And then one of our Monday night matchups, Packers Giants. Giants win it all easily. Um, you know, Fancy doesn't even know still what the logo on his hat means or is. So definitely Giants.
Shout
Uh,
out Boat. Thanks for the hat. Got it from
Shout
Vegas.
out Boat. But yeah, that one's gonna be that
Eighty.
one's gonna be. Now that I look at it, Monday Night Football kind of sucks. I know it's gonna be a lot to you because it's like, I'll probably be watching the Packers game. Um,
Oh, yeah.
just because it's like you said, a lot on the line. They could go 7-6, win out.
And it's fun to see that team, like, it really is just, like, it's from where they started to where they're at. It's like, oh, like, let's see them just keep getting better and getting more in sync.
Yeah. And then Dolphins, Titans, the Titans are just really bad.
Yeah,
So I
Dolphins just gonna have
Hey,
another
hey, dude, did you
70-point
see Will
game.
Levis light up D Hop on the sidelines?
I
no.
did, and I said, "Who the fuck are you talking
That's
to?"
what I said too, dude. I said, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah,
Fucking,
I
I
was
was
like, "This
like,
guy is gonna
dude,
fucking."
yeah, he like threw a deep ball and Hopkins didn't go. Like it was like one of those like read plays where you
option
either go
route, yeah.
straight or you go right or whatever, and it's like instead of running the vert route, he like decided to turn and Will Levis fucking lit him up on the sidelines, and I was just like, Like, dude, you fucking put mayo in your coffee and you're barely a starter in the NFL. Like, you're beating out Ryan Tannehill right now. Like, you're lucky you have a job, bro. Like,
Yeah.
don't act like you had one good week where we're all like, and then after this, it's like you've been irrelevant. Like, it's like
But yeah, and you have
D-Hop is a
you'll
Hall of
never
Famer,
have the
dude.
career or stats that fucking D
Yeah,
Hop has.
D-Hop's a Hall of Famer, and you're nowhere near it. It's
He'll
like,
be lucky to be starting in 3 years.
All right, listen,
I'll be
I've got
lucky.
my home league. To make the playoffs, I got to win out. Or I got to win this week, right?
All right.
And I'm gonna have two players. I'm gonna have HN and Hill for that Monday night game. So they better just go off like they did last week.
Cancel the game.
No. So I mean that's gonna be why I'm gonna watch that game instead of the
Yeah,
Packers
that's fair.
game because
Yeah.
I've got a lot riding on that to make the playoffs. So
Yep, my girlfriend's in the same situation. She's in so there's four playoff spots in our family league. Um, Me and my dad clinched, so the other two are available. I locked in number 1 seed. Um, but she has to win to try to get the 3rd seed because if she gets 4 seed, she's gonna play me right away. And my team's ridiculous. Like it's like I mean obviously it's fan football, anyone can lose, but it's like you don't want to go against my team first week. So she needs to win. Last week she had Tyreek Hill, Tua, Achan, and DK Metcalf, who all just like
yeah.
so she dominated last week. She'll
I got
make
a question.
playoffs,
I
but
got a question for you. So our league did the 4 teams to make it as well. We have it. I've never seen this before. So
is it
it's
the two matchup
4
thing?
weeks. It's 4
I hate
weeks.
that. I
It's
hate
you
that.
play the team 2 weeks in a
I
row.
I I I,
So frustrating.
I don't know. I think it's like you know that's like if they made playoffs that way, like best of 3 in a way, or it's like they
Yeah.
playoffs. It's like you know how many playoff games did the Packers lose to the 49ers? Where it's like if they played them a second time, would they have beat them? Probably. It's like, but they didn't beat them in the game that matters, so it doesn't matter. It's just like I don't know. I mean, I've been in leagues that do that, and I've never liked it. I'd rather just have even when I've lost, I'm just like,
Right.
yeah, I lost. It's like it is what it is. I don't want another week at a chance, but I understand it. Um,
I
you
got to
come.
get
Is
in the
it
playoffs
12
first
man?
though. I got to win. So,
Is it 12 man?
yep.
Yeah, yeah. I get it. I get it. But not my cup of tea. But last segment that we have here is trivia with Matt. So let's dive into that. Oh,
All right,
I don't
trivia
know.
time. I was struggling to get a question for you guys this week. Not gonna lie, I wanted like I said, I wanted to ask you how many injuries we've had at quarterback. I think you kind of rolled through a couple of those. Um, this week I tried to keep it simple, so we will do name all the current starting quarterbacks that are left-handed.
They have to be starting.
Correct.
Tua. That's it.
Anybody else?
I'm trying to think. I'm like, fuck, who all's starting right now? Hold on, let me make sure I'm not like looking over anybody. Kyler Murray, right?
No, guy was right.
Is
He's
he?
ready.
I think it's just Tua. I think it's Tua, and before that it was like Mike Vick.
Yep. Yep. So it's Tua. And then so then leading into that, I was going to say, can you name any lefties in history that kind of stand out to you? There's not
Tim
much, I
Tebow,
can tell you
Tim
that.
Tebow, Mike Vick.
Donovan McNabb, or wasn't there someone for the Vikings? I think.
It's
Maybe not.
it's Tebow and Vick though too. They're on the list, aren't they?
Yep, those are the two. Those are the two
Brett
lefties.
Favre.
There's an older one. He's
Yeah.
righty.
So and then so that kind of leads me into basically there's only like two others, probably one that you should think of. So either Super Bowl winners or Super Bowl contenders in history. There have only been three others.
Wait,
So
so who
there's
did I get?
well, you said Vic and Tebow. I mean,
And then I have Tua.
Yep.
And there's how many more?
So 3 that have made it to the Super Bowl.
Oh,
That's going way back.
like, are we talking?
Their names you would know, I think, anyways.
John Elway.
No, he's righty. Steve Young.
There you go.
No.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
is it? Okay. I
Yeah,
was like, wait a minute.
he's the standout lefty.
Yeah.
That to me,
49ers,
I think of
right?
anyways. If you think of history, what's that?
49ers.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. That's the only reason that when you said like there's one more, I was like stupidly would come to mind like Joe Montana. I was like, he's not a lefty. But I was like, who
Yeah.
else in the 49ers has like you said Elway and that popped up in my head. I was like, he was definitely righty though.
Yep.
Yeah, Steve Young.
So we got
Steve
another announcer.
There's another one?
If you hear
Bradshaw.
the name, no.
Is he an announcer?
Yep. Or commentator, I guess.
Aikman.
No, Aikman was
Right.
ready. Oh no. Does he
Who else?
still do it now? No. Does he?
I don't
Fuck.
know. I don't know who you're thinking of.
I don't think he does. I haven't seen him in a long time. Fuck, I know it. He played for the Bucks. No?
It's a good question.
I think he played for the Bucks. Chris Sims.
Sims is a good one. Yep. But he didn't.
That wasn't the one?
Nope.
Oh, he was a commentator though, wasn't he?
Yep. Correct.
He doesn't do it anymore though.
No, that was a good one though.
Oh wow, that was the only one I fucking.
All right. You want me to give it to you, or you
Yeah,
want
give it to me.
So Boomer Esiason, Super Bowl MVP.
Wow.
What Super Bowl?
Fucking 1812.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry, MVP. Yeah, MVP for the season, not for the Super Bowl.
Dude, the fact that it wasn't Chris Sims burns me out. I feel like I just dug deep for that. I was like, dude, what is that?
Sims? That's a great one. Yeah. He did not make it to the Super Bowl though.
Yeah.
And then the other one is again, I think you know the name, but Kenny Stabler is the other one that was Super Bowl winning.
Wow.
Quarterback that I thought of. So
interesting.
We'll have a new one when the Dolphins win the Super Bowl over the Lions.
Possibly, yeah.
He's like, as long as we get there. he's like, as long as we get there. I mean,
yeah, I'm happy with that.
No, dude, that Super Bowl loss depression is different, dude. When you wake up the next morning, you're like, we didn't get it done, and I watched every minute of every game going into the. It's like,
yeah.
I mean, that's fancy. NFC Championship is like every year, you know. It's just like, waste
so question just because it's seeing Tua just sling the ball deep to Tyreek. I don't know why it just looks so weird.
Yeah,
that lefty little just like fling he does. So I just thought it was interesting.
It's so crazy how they just shame the like lefty throwers because I think Tua's brother's lefty too. I think I could be wrong. He plays in the college right now. I think for like Maryland or something like that. Yeah, and yeah, it's like if you're a lefty, they're like, oh, you'll never be anything. It's just like, but why? It's like if you think about it, they have plays that are set. It's just like reverse the plays. Like it's not that hard to do. It's just like, you know what I mean?
It's one of those things.
Flip it. Like
it's protection packages, right? It's you know, because obviously the blind side is always what you gotta be careful of. That's the only thing that would be kind of weird. But other than that, it's just interesting that there's such a low percentage of superstar lefties out there. So
yeah, very true. Very very interesting. That was, I mean, there was definitely more than I would have thought. Before that list. But yeah, I mean that's all of our segments for the week. I'm sure Fancy is ready for some sleep after.
Yeah, I gotta take my dog out. He's a shit.
Being this.
I can hear him whining.
Really. Anything else you guys want to add or need to add or?
Oh no, I'm pretty well. I'm ready. I'm just ready for tonight. Get the bad one out of the way, and look forward to Sunday being off.
One of the many bads.
Right, and hopefully I can report back to you that I made it to the playoffs after the Monday night game. So,
and then hopefully I can report back to you that this is coming back, and I'm pretty sure I clinched in that league too.
Oh, good luck.
Yeah, yeah. Yaya's 11-1. So
Yeah,
Damn.
that's
he's got
now
he's
is
got
it.
He's got Mostert, CMC, Jalen Hurts. It's like, oh
I was gonna
It's a
say,
good
like,
draft.
look at his point differential. He's probably lighting up high
yeah,
points, or is he also getting the good matchups?
yeah. He's got the least amount of points scored up against him, which definitely is a thing. But
Yeah,
I think he still has the most points scored. Yeah, he's got the most points scored, but the least amount of points scored on him. So like,
Yeah.
he's got the most
it's
points, and the closest person to him is me, and I'm still 250 points away from him. So that's a big margin. 250 points is a
yeah.
lot of
So
points.
I've always thought it would be interesting. I don't know what app it's on, if it's on the Sleeper app or what, but like seeing how you match up each week against the rest of the league. Because like this last week, I needed to win one of these last 2 weeks. I literally played the guy that got the high point. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I would have beat 80% of the
You guys
league.
use sleeper?
No, we do
Oh,
ESPN as well.
yeah.
But it would be interesting to see those matchup stats of what your record should have been, but for literally who you match up against each week. So
Yep. I mean, Yaya went with a huge like running back. I mean, like I said, he's got Hurts, but he's got McCaffrey, Achan, Mixon, Mostert, Kyron Williams, TJ Hawkinson, Keenan Allen. Like it's just like,
geez, yeah,
they still
that's
got
a
Tyler
monster lineup.
Lockett. He's got, I mean, literally Joe Mixon, Mostert, McLaurin, and Dalton Schultz are all on his bench. So, and most of those guys are starting. So we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Right now it's me, Yaya, Funzy, and then C Dub that are in it. So Papa, Boat, and I think Doogie are all in the hunt. So, and Redbird. So it kind of just ends up with who's very close year besides Yaya this year. So pretty fun. But that is it for me. I don't have much else to say about things. Hopefully, we all have a good week in fantasy for our DK lineups, and hopefully our predictions are, but just me 16 and or however many games there are, 14
And
and 0.
we've got 6. I mean, I guess it's between all of us, 6 different matchups where we're different this week. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll see
that'd
how
be
those
exciting.
shake out.
yeah. We'll see what happens. We'll see what the leaderboards are. Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you guys, all the support and everything. Make sure you guys are following us on our socials, and that's it for me. You guys have anything else?
I hope you all have a great weekend.
Yep. Have a
Yep.
great
See ya.
weekend, guys. Later.
Bye.